Yo, I'm back. We're gonna be going over some of these matchups, right? So we obviously have BLG win, Top Esports win, GNG win, Dom 1 win, LNG win, Honor Life win, FlyQuest win, G2 win. So obviously I was wrong about GAM. This is actually the the one. Well, these two games are the furthest apart, but I want to go over some of the games. Honestly, BLG looked a little bit shaky in that first little bit. I mean, obviously you have the Mad Lions. They got away with Mirwin got away with a fucking murder there. Getting 2 kills off of that dive was crazy. It was actually really well, and actually Mad played a lot better than I thought they did. But BLG overall had better micro and better macro overall. Um, so one sec, I'm gonna go through and just kind of click the games a little bit and just make sure that I just want to go to the end. Just kind of remember, just to kind of sum up what it was. Yeah, it the it was this. So obviously they still had this stuff, and they had a few fights here and there that actually made it a lot closer than it thought it would be. Like they had a fight that ended up making it closer right around. Uh, it was like they had a 12-minute fight that was terrible, and then they had an 18 or 17-minute fight that was actually pretty well, and then they ended up just slowly getting choked to death, getting caught out, and they just lost because again, you're getting choked to death. They just keep on doing. You just keep on getting caught out and whatnot, and then they get Baron and they end. Um, I mean they get Baron, they push a lot, they get this huge massive gold lead, and then they end. Which is kind of expected. I mean, BLG played shaky at the start. It was kind of a throw up. Like, man, is Mad actually having a chance here? And then BLG shut them down. Found amazing picks. I think the key to this game was this mid jungle duo. Wei and Knight played amazing. And Mirwin played pretty well. Frescali was pretty mediocre. Supa, that solo kill was actually pretty funny on Elk. Um, but I think he jumped in a wrong area and lost the fight. And also that kill that he had at the beginning during that fight, that he hit him with Static Shiv. It was actually really unlucky, unfortunate, and you know that's life. And then they just yeah, and then On played pretty well, but it was mostly just Way and Knight played pretty well. Honestly, kind of expected. Shaky start, but you can pretty much expect that from BLG. This game was actually really close. This game was absurd. This game was ridiculous. Let's go to it. This game was dumb as fuck. I think this also had the best performance of any player. I mean, arguably, I think the other one is Gen G versus Weibo, but we'll get to that.
Options. I think they've got good.
God damn, that's loud. We're gonna go to here, because it's even. This doesn't really make it give it justice. You start out first minute and T1 is off the bat for the first 10 minutes of the game. Unbelievably insane early game. They're doing a lot of like incredible work. Zeus is popping the fuck off, and their early game, which typically their early game is shit, is probably one of the best early games we saw today. Their first 10 minutes were incredible. Like disgusting. I mean, they did, and then this was a one-on-one. It was a 1v3. It was a 2v3, and they got uh, Guma killed Jackie Love, and Jackie Love responded. And then 12 minutes here, even though they're 3k up, they take a terrible fight, and it's right around after this where JackeyLove gets a quadra kill, and you start not a quadra kill, but JackeyLove does really well. Oh yeah, it's this. It's right here. 13 minutes. JackeyLove does really well. It is a quadra kill. Yeah, it is a quadra kill. They go in. Faker goes in. Honestly, pretty good engage. It's just that JackeyLove is just sitting back, and this champion takes everyone else in, and so you have this kind of grinder kind of comp. And so actually no, Renekton isn't even there. You just have this grinder. You have Aurora and Tien who just kind of make them all go there, and JackeyLove's just sitting there on the behind him, free hitting, then does an amazing, fucking amazing positioning, an amazing ult. Honestly, just does really well, and now he's up a lot, and now it's back even. Cause like again, this entire time, T1's just getting a bunch of plates, just moving around the map, and it's a crazy early game. But they make it even, and you're like, holy shit, JackeyLove's that's like crazy. And then 18 minutes into the game, this fight happens, and the outcome is because they engage onto JackeyLove. It's an amazing engage. Uh, Faker goes in, uses a clone, goes in, and then Owner has an amazing follow-up. Carry has an amazing follow-up. Zaze has an amazing follow-up, and Gumi positioning is just sitting there on the sidelines. It's really good, and honestly, very well played by T1. And this kind of gold, kind of just remains at 2K. And then, fucking man. Wait, let me turn this volume down a little bit. And
I finished for Zeus alongside the Trinity Force.
Where do you think the quad is on our win map? It's that little sliver of blue.
And this is just amazing.
JackeyLove for now on touch to the backside.
Kind of. You have JackeyLove's positioning is in the back, targeting Zeus, and then Faker goes in and just doesn't hit the two targets that he's trying to hit. I mean, he hits Mako, he hits 369 and Tien. But Cream and JackeyLove are just hitting. And so you have Cream and JackeyLove just hitting. And you start to realize, oh shit. Wait a minute. And then, you have the two carries of the team left over. But like, it's like, oh shit. And guess what happens? They stabilize the game. And then we have no fights until the end. And Faker has an overall pretty shit engage, doesn't hit JackeyLove. JackeyLove ends up never flashing this game because his positioning is crazy. I mean, maybe except for that one fight, but not everyone can be perfect. But again, they go on and they engage. They don't hit JackeyLove. JackeyLove's free hitting on all of them while they're engaging, and then they're in the animations, and JackeyLove just stays there and just wins. And like, this is just a top esports win. But I wanted to talk about this game because like, I thought top esports would crush T1. I thought this would not be close. I didn't think that half of these games would be close. I thought this would be one of the closest games as well as this one. But goddamn, was it pretty? Like, I thought T1 would come out and be a very weak team who would have some good team fights. And honestly, it was kind of the exact opposite. They had one good team fight, but everything else was kind of just shit. They just had a really, 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 really good early game that actually impressed the shit out of me. Like, I didn't actually think that they could have a good early game. Because they haven't had a good early game at all. Like, they've been shit this entire thing, and then they come out swinging, and I'm like, oh goddamn. And then Top Esports, again, Jackie Love has an amazing performance. And then that brings us to Weibo versus the other, like, this is where I would say Jackie Love's probably the best performance of the day. Or, again, you have the GOAT, Gen G, Chovy,
For Weibo.
and you're like, and honestly, like, obviously this game is kind of weird, right? You could get into this game and you're like, okay, Jinx is gonna outscale Pace. Jinx is gonna outscale Kalista. Chovy's gonna Smolder's gonna outscale Lucian. But this comp overall outscales because you have this double AD carry plus Ivern, and you have Jax for Rumble, and you're like, okay, this kind of looks scary. We have this good early game, and honestly, it's just a consistent kind of lead, but they break away with objectives, right? And they just keep breaking away with objectives, and they start a lead, they get a kill, they start up a lead, and then man, they fight a little bit. Actually, the fight that I just went over, this thing, they fight and it goes in favor of Weibo, and they equalize, and you're like, oh, they're equalizing, okay. And note, like, I was like, okay, they equalize, but then they start to turn this stuff around. Even though, again, Gen G has a massive amount of objectives, Weibo starts to out macro Gen G.
Xiaohu starting the objective here.
And one of the quotes from one of the casters, I believe, I don't really remember, is that Xiaohu starts to out Chovy. Again, this is the lead. Out Chovying Chovy. Chovy's struggling against Xiaohu. Xiaohu plays this amazing game. Again, Chovy's just trying to scale. Chovy's just trying to sit back. Because guess what? Again, Lucian is so much better than Smolder. But Smolder hasn't died yet. So he's playing his lane very well. He's very relaxed. He's very cautious. He's playing very patient League. And both of these teams play incredibly patient League. And you're like sitting there and you're like, Weibo's this fighting team. Gen G, I guess, is like this. But you start to see Gen G's crucial weakness, which is just that they're just sitting there taking this like lead. They're just sitting there taking this disadvantaged state. We need Lehens on an engaged support. We need Keen on something that can engage. We need Cannon on something that can engage, right? Obviously we have Maokai ult, and honestly these are all just line ults, right? All of these three ults are just lines, right? But the problem is that these people aren't Jackie Love. They have flash and they'll use it. Keen can follow up, but you're really just waiting on them to engage, which when are they going to engage? They now have more gold than you do. They have more map control than you do. You've only taken down one tower to their 3. They're starting to get vision in your jungle. And now you're starting to walk into this team. And then they overextend. Then Gen G takes. Well, actually, what happens is that Xiaohu and Light, I believe, go down to the bottom, get Drake. They get Drake. It's very easy. They come back up. And no, it was Crisp and Light. Go down, get Drake, come back up. and Genji's starting to do Baron because they recognize that they are now basing and that this is a perfect opportunity. Again, amazing call. Immaculate level call. Uh, but they lose. But like, what happens is that uh, it becomes a 2 for, I think it was a 2 for 2. If I'm not mistaken, it might be just a 1 for 2. But you have Chovy and Pays with Baron buffs. And Genji takes this, picks Tarzan, and you're just sitting here like, oh no, they have 6 grubs. Which then leaves them to fight something, and they lose. But the game is still relatively even, except for the fact that there are 6 Drakes. The same amount of turrets have been, except, there's one less turret on Genji's side. However, they have 6 Drakes, 6 grubs, so it doesn't even matter. Then Xiaohu goes for this risky play, almost 1v1s, nearly 1v1s Chovy, but Chovy gets him. I mean, Pays gets him, but like Chovy would have won it. Whatever. But and then obviously Genji does their thing of where when they're behind, right? They'll start to bleed a little bit. But when they get ahead 500 gold, that turns into fucking 2,000, 3,000 out of nowhere. 3,000 gold out of nowhere, and they're forced to fight, and Chovy just destroys them, and you're now like, oh shit, this guy has now he's starting to farm better than I am. He still hasn't died. He's now carrying the fights alongside Pays, but I honestly think that he's carrying the fights more than Pays. And I think he does more damage and whatnot. And then it just becomes they're struggling. They actually kill, and then Light kills Chovy. And you're like, wait, this is a shutdown. It's even again. And again, I'm not expecting this from Weibo. No one's expecting this from Weibo. It's 38 minutes. It's nearly dead even. But they have soul. So they have probably about a 3 to 4k gold lead equivalent. And so they're looking at like a 5k gold lead in total. And but they also have grubs. So you're looking at probably like a 6k gold lead. And it's kind of hard to come back from that. And you just see they just start to squeeze out a little bit more. And you see that there's a huge difference in items, like 5 items to 4 items. They both have each item, but and this Jax, Breathe does amazing this game. Keen got shit on, like literally shit on. Like I'm not shit on. He didn't not get shot on. Sorry, he just got beat this game. Breathe played very well. And the supports actually played very well. And Xiaohu played insane on Lucian, even though, like, again, you start to see Chovy start to pop off. But, like, for the first, like, 25 minutes, you're looking at Xiaohu like, why isn't people saying that this guy's incredible? Like, this guy's insane. His mechanics are great. Weibo is playing incredible macro, which doesn't make sense because their team is this wild card pick that just fucking does random shit, and they're playing a Genji's level for a good like 25, 27 minutes of the game. And then unfortunately a fight breaks loose, or they get a pick or something like that. Yeah. And then they get a pick or something. No, That's a different game. Fight gets Elder flip, and unfortunately Genji's there first. It makes it incredibly hard for them to play, and they win. Anyway, the hype doesn't stop there. um, this game is amazing. This game is amazing. Because Humanoid played incredible. Um, Humanoid had a weird ult once. He was kind of on and off. But honestly, I was rather impressed by both of them, both teams. They played a very well game,
Right.
and I think they played a little bit more micro than I thought they would, or at least DK did. And honestly, they had a dive, early dive, blah blah blah. It's fine. And then they get another pick, and then they start to kind of balloon this lead a little bit, and it remains around this 1.5 to 1.5k gold lead. And then they just get another fight, and you're like, oh, this is just fucked. Like, why are we even playing this game? They get a 3k gold lead. Yeah, this is what it's looking like. Um, except Humanoid exists. And Humanoid starts to pop off, like getting banger ults. And this balloon, again, this lead is 3 Drakes and 1 Grub to 5 Grubs. Like, and obviously the turrets are pretty equal except for this turret here and this mid turret here. Um, and honestly, again, DK's just winning, but like they steal a Drake, then they have like a crazy fight where Humanoid gets in and fucking ults them, destroys 2 of them, and now you have Showmaker and Kingen just sitting there left up. This happened beforehand. It leaves 2 people remaining right here. 3 go down about 30 seconds later. Showmaker plays amazing this game as well. I mean, this is just a masterclass of mid laners today, and then JackeyLove, because all of these mid laners played very well, a lot better than I thought they would. And Noah also played pretty well today. Razork played pretty well. Lucid played amazing today. Aiming played very well, and Showmaker played it really well. And honestly, again, they left it out, and they fucking killed them. Ezreal came in, and so you have Noah who just still is surviving. And they somehow turn the fight, and it's dead even. Even with Baron, it is now dead even. And so this dead even goes in, and you're like, oh shit, it is just dead even. And then they get a fight, and you're like, oh my god. Because Humanoid gets this amazing ult onto like 2 people, and you're like, oh god. Oh god, they're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're ballooning their lead. Again, this fucking Yone is doing so much work. And you're like, this is GG's. It has to be GG's. Until they fight. Um, uh, they fight right around here. They get wiped, and they, or no, sorry. They fight around Baron. Fnatic gets Baron. but again, it's the classic Baron for Nexus trade. They find their way on Noah. They poke down. Showmaker pokes down. Showmaker and Aiming poke down the regular team. Kingen finds their way onto Noah. Lucid follows up. Or no, Lucid finds their way onto Noah. Lucid follows up. Aiming then follows up. And it's just tragic. Showmaker kills one. Yeah, he kills 2. And you're just sitting here like, damn, very close game, very good game. Honestly, very high matches. Like these first 4 were really good. Mad 1 was a little bit less so, but these ones were very close matches that I wasn't expecting, and it was incredibly high quality. And I think it still continues with TL. Well, I think this is unfortunately where it starts to become worse. I don't think TL played a bad game. I actually think they played pretty well. The only unfortunate part about this is that, like, objectively, that this just they had one point in a game where, you know, they're leading and whatnot, and then LG kind of claps back, and they start to go in for a little bit more, and you're like, oh, it's pretty dead even. Again, dead even games. These early games are pretty nice. They're very equal. Both sides are finding incredibly good parts to the stuff. Then this happens. They get a 2v. They get like a 4v2, and unfortunately, they just again they keep picking players. No, I guess that was just one. Sorry, I saw the replay. And they just keep on playing pretty well. But as you can see, they sneak a Baron. And this Baron power play gets them 2k gold, and now they're dead even. They are dead even until this fight. This is Appa, right after he missed, right? This is the one, yeah. Unfortunately, as you can see here, Appa is trying to get into here, choke this point out, whereas they can come into here. You have this, if you can look at the corner, fuck. Maybe this will be better.
Now impact's coming from below. They're going to look for the fight. Here comes Nico.
Remember, Yon as well can find the angle.
Here. Obviously, it's very clear what's happening, right? You have Noah up here, right? Noah can come in at any time, so it doesn't really matter. Everyone's at full HP. What do you want to happen? And you know, Zika is just coming back with a new item. One of the most unfortunate parts about this is that, and this is not just Cope, but I think what's happening is that Appa wants to come down here and wants to stop them right here. These people, they have 2 choices. They have vision here. They know that he's around this area, and so they decide to go down here. Appa wants them to go into this choke point rather than this choke point, since this choke point is not covered. And so Impact comes from the bottom to try to do that, to try to get these 2 to go into here. But unfortunately, that just fails as they go down. And then Yeon, who expects Appa, because Appa's ulting right now, to go in, he flashes in and misses both Scout and Gala as they are too far for him to go in, because he pressed ulti right around back here. He comes and walks around here. He's just about to go in, so he flashes to here. And Oh no, he doesn't even flash to there. He just hits these two. Again, he was back here. He pressed alt and then flashed forward. Or not even flash forward. He didn't even flash forward. And so Yeon just goes in, expecting him to come in and flash forward. So I don't even think this is Yeon's fault. Again, Appa's being like, I have ult, I have ult, I have ult. Goes in, and they just get shit on. Because Zika turns, they get onto Yeon. Yeon gets one shot. And it's done. It's just over. And you're like, well, why is it over? Well, Appa doesn't have any more spells. Umpty's getting taken to the side and dragging Gala to the side, which I think he does kill, by the way.
Keeps him at bay. Zika just runs
Yeah. But the unfortunate part is Scout's still
through the
alive.
rest of them with a good
And so Impact can chase one or stay here, which I think he should have stayed
old
here.
g'day as he burns him down.
If he wanted a high chance of winning this fight. But again, Appa dies.
Next. You can see hung on this rail.
And you kind of understand that this throws the game. And it doesn't really. And yeah, the lead doesn't falter. Because again, they have 5 grubs, they have a Jax on a Rumble, which is always going to outscale. But unfortunately, Tristana just pushes well into Nico. So again, this lead stays the same. This lead is very consistent until they get picked out. They pick one, and then they pick another. And unfortunately, they kill 2 here, and it's just GG's. And it just goes from there. They get another. Gala gets a triple kill. Again, Scout played a pretty good game here. I think their entire team played very well. I think this was more on their team losing this though, and that's just unfortunate. You don't want to lose. You want their team to win. And you lost the game, and most of it was just Appa, and they didn't really have a good fight since. And I mean, they had a good fight once, but you're just looking at this, and they just keep winning, and it's just over. Pretty good game. I think Nerves got to Appa. He's still getting on stage. This is what I thought T1 would look like, but kind of the opposite. They would rest into the stage, so they would look better later on. And again, this game was really close at all times until the last fight. This came down to the last fight. This came down to the last fight. This came down to the last fight. And this did not. And that's just unfortunate, right? But we had 3 games that come down to the last fight so far. Because who knows what about the other ones. This game actually started out pretty decently for PSG. But you can kind of see the small gold leads. They did get they traded Drakes for grubs, or no, did they? No, they just got 3 free grubs, and they got 2 kills here. They found a few people, and then again they're like 3-1 up, and they're 3-1 up in jungle, which again I don't think is really that meaningful. And then they're just not 3-1 up. I mean, they still stay 2 up, but kind of go far. And it's a decent game. They're doing pretty well, holding up with Genji. I mean, Hunter Life for a pretty long time, but you can kind of see where the gold is. And Zeka is just goated. And they just kind of lose a fight, and Hanwha Life is just too good. And PSG's not the team.
It's more difficult.
And again, it happens. It gets 6-1 or 6-5. Then it gets 7-5, and this gold lead goes from a 3K gold lead to a 4K gold lead, or nearly a 5K gold lead, to a 7K gold lead because they won a fight. And okay, Doran does an absolute amazing job here. Ends up all three of these guys kind of end up fighting Doran. Wow, and Doran ends up actually just putting all of them away. I think this is a really good game by Doran, and I think this is why like people should not shit on Doran. Doran, it just plays amazing. Make sure that none of these guys can play. Make sure that none of these guys can dive in and even attack the Baron. He keeps all of them safe, and then since he keeps all of them safe, you can have follow up, and they do. Now it's 9-6. Because I think Peanut went in. No, never mind. Sorry, Peanut did not go. Now it's 9-6. They get Baron. It's a 10K gold lead, and it just ends.
But
They played a good 15 minutes, and then since then it just kind of went down. Like they played a good 25 minutes until until that team fight. They just played well in the early games. They were able to deal with some of the stuff that that happened, and that was it. I'm not even gonna go over Gamma Pain. These games were not close. It just was kind of brutal. It was a one-sided game for both of these. They weren't fun to watch, unlike the rest of them. FlyQuest just destroyed Gam. FlyQuest got like 1 kill. I mean, it was just Whippo domination. Like how broken is Sion? Sion died, TP'd back, and was just completely fine. Then continued to use that lead. And actually, I am gonna click on this game because there is a big. Actually, I'm gonna click on both games. Fuck it. There's actually reasons for me to click on both. We just want to look at the champs. We don't even want to look at the game itself. Never mind. Can I not? Okay, whatever. You have an Akali assassin, which is an assassin, and you have a Jhin against Bwipo. You need to destroy the Sion. This Sion is up 1,000 gold in 10 minutes. This Sion ends up carrying this game. There is nothing anyone can do on this team about Sion. And Sion remains that way. Quad almost solo kills Emo like 15 billion times. Masu plays good. Busio plays good. Inspired plays good. You have this healing comp. And you're just looking at this team, and there's just nothing they can do about Sion. So therefore, they can't get to the carries, who are also being protected by Ivern, who's also protecting Bwipo, who's also using Daisy. And this team just goes from being 1-1 to being 1-1 to then being 1-4 to then being 1-8 and then it's just really that simple. They did nothing. They lost because they did nothing. They tried to do something and they just couldn't. They physically just could not do anything about this Sion. And this Sion just solo-handedly won them the game, and Quad got very fed. And I know it doesn't look like he's super fed or anything, but again, he gains stats. Every single minion kill is 4 HP, and you already know this guy is at You know, I mean that's nearly a thousand HP right there, and he just doesn't die, and they just keep on going down mid. These guys can't do anything. This guy's not Jackie Love. He's easy love, and it's just it's GG's. Um, and then finally G2 versus bro. This comp was crazy. I was so hyped for this comp, and then it was kind of just a boring game because G2 crushed PNG,
Here.
Pain Gaming.
Some builds where you cook with like flicker.
Bro, I was so hyped for this. You got the In Brothers plus Brand and Hans and you got Jinx and um Rel. Imagine this: Rel engage onto a broken, like onto a Caps ult, onto like a Yasuo ult, onto a Brand ult with W and Q or W E, and just Hans Sama just ulting on the background. That fries a team. And there is just nothing they can do about it. Unfortunately, like it's just again, it's just a massive gold lead from the start. Like it just it just devs and these these grubs, man, it goes from being a 1,000 gold lead to a 3,000 gold lead to 5,000 gold lead to an 8K gold lead to 9K gold lead to an 11K gold lead, and it's just over. It's just over. They play really good. G2 do. And to be honest, Titan plays amazing. Like again, it's Titan. He has all the resources of his team. He's the one to carry this team. Just unfortunately, he's so far behind in this other stuff that Yike is one-shotting everyone. Broken Blade and Caps are going in and just shredding every other person. You don't have a tank on this team. You don't have someone who's like, I mean, I guess you kind of do, but this tank is so far behind that like it doesn't fucking matter. This tank gets shredded by these people, and their health bars just get one shot, and it's just like nothing they can do. I mean, there's just nothing. Like absolutely nothing they can do. But honestly, cool comp. Enjoyed the comp. Yeah. But I did draw MSN some paint because I want to predict the next people. So let's get this on. Because I wanted to predict the stuff, and for whatever reason, I can't predict it on this site because yeah, it's not due yet. So BLG versus LNG. Um, this is actually gonna be closer than I think people are gonna think it is because I think LNG kind of played pretty well, but I think BLG wins this and LNG loses one, so it's 2-0-1-1. This is gonna be a close game. Genji, either Genji underperformed or Weibo really performed well. And I think both these teams played immaculately. Chovy's still on point, and I think that's gonna be a hard point for Cream. However, I think that their inability to do stuff very much shined. It was Weibo who made the mistake of going in and choosing a terrible fight, and Genji just playing the fights like they always do, which is just perfectly. So in my personal opinion, this is like I mean, again, I think Genji wins this, but I think it's closer than people think it is. I think TES is like very good. Um, I think Jackie Love's performance was amazing, and I think that this team has the abilities and players to do incredibly well. This is a hype matchup. G2 crushed the team. Life crushed the team. I'm gonna go with Life because that's kind of what I think, but I have no clue. TL versus Weibo. I think Weibo wins this. After yesterday's performance, I don't know if TL has the confidence to win. But I also think that Weibo performed incredibly well, and if they keep that up, then it's just GG's. T1 performed well. PNG did not. Sorry, one sec. I realized this as I was doing it. And honestly, I like both these teams, and I want both of them to make it to the finals. So I'm kind of really struggling to say NA as going to drop to a 0-2 position so early on. DK versus Fly. Fly destroyed Gam, and DK played well, but their micro wasn't on point. I think Fly's micro was on point, so I'm going to say this is going to be a 0-2 and a 1. Oh, wait, no, sorry. They won. 2-0 versus a 1-1. Fnatic versus Gam. I don't think Gam's going to win well. I just don't think that they have the team to do this, and I think it's going to be I think it's just going to be a 1-1 0-2. And then Mad wins this. PSG did not perform to the expectation. They played a good 14 minutes. These Mad played a good 25. I think Mad has the abilities to keep up with these players, and I don't think that PSG does. So I'm gonna have to go 0-2, and then 1-1. So your two O teams are BLG, Gen G. I'm trying to get better at this this writing thing. HLE and Fly. Then your 1-1 teams are DK, Fnatic, LNG, G2, T1, and MDK. Oh wait, TES and Weibo. And then your O2 teams are PSG, TL, Pain, and Gam. TL will make it out to this bracket. Will go on. MDK will fall. Fnatic will fall. The rest is just based off of this. Fly. This will fall. This will go. The rest of this is just how it is. Whoever versus BLG will fall. Whoever versus Life actually looks like the best team here so far. But again, Life versus Life, depending on how this looks, again, we have no clue. Based off of today, BLG looks like the worst team of these three. Gen G looks like they're kind of useless, and Life looks like they played well. But to be fair, Gen G played against a higher level opponent. Life played against a lower level opponent. So I think these two are pretty equal, whereas BLG is a little bit lower than the rest of them. But I still think BLG is going to 3-0. 3-0. Pick'ems, baby. And yeah, I think your two losing teams are going to be these two. whoever plays against TL is gonna lose. I think PNG is gonna lose anyway. I think PNG has a guaranteed first player to lose. I think these two will go. I think your probably worst teams will be either. Yeah, I mean if it's T1 can't play against TES. Again, T1 can. I guess you can play against any of these two teams. So you just choose two teams to go forward, which will be these two. Let's see. G2 will move up, DK will move down, Weibo will move up, LNG will move down. This is a really hype one. This is a really hype mid one. Honestly, I have more respect to all of these teams. I thought this would be a lot worse, but after seeing the games, I just actually think that LNG is a lot better than a lot of people think. I think TES is extremely better than a lot of people think, and if TES doesn't fumble, they are top 4, if not top 3. Because honestly, they looked really good. And LNG looked very good. But LNG also played against TL, and to be fair, if Appa probably hit that, it would have been a different story. So I think LNG is probably your top 8. I think this team is top 4 though. I think it actually will have this will be a good matchup. But I think this is going to be a banger. I think Fly will just get destroyed. But yeah, I think that's how this is going to go.